and welcome back to another episode of Jash Reads. Yay, welcome back, folks. And today we will be continuing to read Animorphs, number 12, The Reaction by K.A. Applegate. So earlier today I got my nerve testing done, which was basically to make sure whether or not I had carpal tunnel syndrome. And what they basically did was they put some like 10-unit things on my arms and, shocked the arm. And then after that, what they did was they, sort of jabbed me with acupuncture needles and shocked me that way. And so, yeah. That was a lot of fun. I hate needles, so, that was a great time for me, let me tell you. I wake up, have a quick breakfast, and be stabbed and shocked, and it was surprising to me because I've believed for a little bit now that I have had carpal tunnel. Turns out that's not the case. I do not have carpal tunnel syndrome. The doctor is going to go over his findings and figure out what exactly I have, but as of now, no carpal tunnel. So, that's sort of good news, so we don't know what's wrong with me. But, hopefully in the near future, we will figure that out. And once I get to the beach here, I will find a good position and start the reading. Let's position over here. There's a cow there. No, reading. I'm trying to get, if you're wondering why I tried to get fish right then and there, it's because I want to tame the cats and I currently don't have a fishing pole, so yeah. So, let's get started! Let's get started with this dramatic reading. Actually, let me get the Twitch chat up on my phone. So if anyone wants to join in and make comments live on Twitch, you can do that. Just please remember, I am trying to do this as spoiler-free as possible because I am hoping against hope. People, adults discover, rediscover the Animorphs series this way. So we may have newcomers that don't know exactly what's going on. Okay, let's get started. Sit back and let the fun begin. Yay! I woke up approximately 50 times during the night. I kept having to check to make sure I was human. And I had some seriously odd dreams. In one, I morphed into Jeremy Jason and then got fly eyes. Not a good night's sleep. My dad came in from the next room at about 4 in the morning to tell me I woke him up talking in my sleep. You were yelling, "Crocodile, not alligator," he said. Fortunately, he just figured it was stress from the insane day I'd had. He was right, but he didn't know half of it. I took a taxi from the hotel to school. It'd be taking the bus. That's for sure. Maybe Cassie was right. Maybe I'll have to be rich when I grow up. For the first couple of periods, I had to put up with kids saying brilliant things like, "Hey, it's Crocodile Dundee!" And "Stay away from me, you'll make the school fall down." And then there were the people who actually seemed jealous. I guess you think you're cool just because you nearly got killed twice in one day. One girl said. "Yeah, that's right," I said. "Later, just to prove how cool I am, I'm going to jump off a cliff." By the time lunch was over, most people had gotten the message that I didn't really want to talk about it. Then I was called to the assistant principal's office, Chapman's office. I guess I should explain. Chapman is one of them. He's a high-ranking controller. He's one of the leaders of the sharing. He once came very close to having me killed. Not that he knew it was me, really, but still I kind of resented it. I walked the empty hallway, clutching my hall pass and wondering how I was going to escape if Chapman was waiting for me with a bunch of Hork-Bajir warriors. "Rachel, come on in. Come on in. Have a seat." Chapman looks perfectly normal. He's a little bald, but normal looking. That's the problem with controllers. They don't look any different. What's this about, Mr. Chapman?" I asked nervously. I was playing the role of any normal kid who gets called to the assistant principal's office. It was easy to act nervous. He waved his hand dismissively. "I just wanted to talk to the big celebrity." I sat down, but I stayed tense and ready to spring into action. Did Chapman suspect? Had he figured out that I hadn't just fallen into the crocodile pit? Had he figured out that I was the crocodile who had carried the little boy to safety? I was dead meat if he had. The Yeerks believe we are a group of Andalite bandits. See? They know they're getting attacked by a group of people who can morph. It just never occurs to them that humans could morph. If they knew the truth, well, there's good reason we keep the truth a secret. Coffee, coffee, coffee. So, I agreed. Yesterday was quite a day for you, Chapman said. Yes, sir. You were very lucky. Twice. Yes, I guess so. But I guess the way I look at it, I was unlucky twice. He nodded like I'd said something deep. No injuries? I shook my head. No? Amazing, he said. Then he narrowed his eyes and stared hard at me. Rachel, your grades have dropped this last semester. Not a lot, but your teachers think you aren't applying yourself the way you used to. I still have an A average, I pointed out. Barely. I squirmed in my seat. This was insane! I wasn't sure if I was being interrogated by a dangerous controller who suspected my true identity, or if I was just being lectured about my grades by an assistant principal. Has anything changed in your life lately? I almost swallowed my tongue. Had anything changed? Like, for example, being given the power to morph by a dying alien and ending up fighting an invasion of Earth by parasite slugs from outer space? Nope, I said. No big changes. He smiled, an understanding smile. Your parents got divorced, didn't they? And didn't your father move away? I tried not to look too relieved, but I definitely sighed. Oof, oh yeah, yes, maybe that's why my grades are down a little. That must be it. You know, the trauma and all. I felt my foot itching. It was a strange thing to notice right then, with Chapman staring at me like I was some mystery he was trying to understand. But they were definitely itching, and I was feeling flushed. Warm all over. Well, as you may or may not know, Rachel, I am the local head of a wonderful group called The Sharing. And that's when my heart stopped beating. So that's the end of chapter 11 of The Reaction. So yeah, I've mentioned this time and time before in the series. But one thing I love about the Animorphs series is that the books aren't chock full of, oh, the war with the Yeerks, oh, you know, this big bad or that thing we have to worry about. No, there's also big human, wrong house. Okay. It's also, you know, full of realistic things teenagers would be worried about. You know, you have the war with the Yeerks, yeah, but they're also just kids, and chapters like these really hammer in that point. Yeah, she's fighting a Yeerk invasion, but she's also has to deal with school, regular school things. And with Chapman, you know, that's where everything really starts to go down. Never mind. That sounded clever in my head, and I realized I'm not talking much. So, with Chapman, she's going through the normal kid thing of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in trouble. I'm getting called to the principal's office, in this case, you know, vice principal. And, you know, that's, you know, fear, you know, any kid can relate to. It's like, oh my gosh, why am I getting called? What have I done wrong? I don't remember doing anything wrong. And so Rachel's experiencing that, but at the same time, Rachel is worried that she might be a few seconds away or a few minutes away from death. It's like, is this like normal? Or is this something to be worried about? Is my cover about to be blown? And that fear, the combining of the normal and, the abnormal really, really works. Because it's like, we all might not have this, possibly walking into a situation where we can be killed, but we definitely have had conflict with authority figures. Maybe not, a lot. I'm not saying like all of us were, bad kids at some point, but, we all had to deal with principals, vice principals, something. I mean, I remember in high school, the gym coach, PE or whatever, really didn't like, people not being 100% into, athletics. And so me and a bunch of people were basically called out for different things. And yeah, so, I can't connect to the possibility of getting into a situation where I can get killed, but I can go, oh yeah, I remember feeling like that at one point. Yeah. And then the nightmares, which, not Cassie, Rachel is having, where she could, possibly be, morphing again without meaning to, because at this point in time, Rachel doesn't know what's causing it. So yeah, it's very likely that, it could be very random, and that she could kill those she actually really cares about. And another thing connecting the normal to the abnormal is, again, with Rachel's nightmares. We've had points, where we've had nightmares and someone has helped us, woken us up or been there for us. I know, even now when I have like a little nightmare, my husband will, sometimes come and comfort. Well, what am I saying? Come and comfort? No, he'll be there. Take all my fish right on. He'll help me out. Help talk me through. Sometimes he'll wake up because I have a nightmare. Sometimes I'll have a nightmare and wake him up. Yeah. But the thing Rachel has to worry about is, isn't just, any embarrassment you may feel because someone, heard whatever you were saying from maybe a very embarrassing dream. It's that she could have given away, secrets. She could have accidentally, told her dad, given enough information that, she's one of the quote-unquote Andalite bandits that's been, terrorizing the Yerks. And if her dad's not a controller, he may be a controller later, so he could still be he could still be an enemy in the future. And then, if he is a controller, in that one move, she could have just, ended Earth's last hope. That could have been it. Yerks would have won. Humans humans would have lost. Yeah. But luckily, she's like, yeah, luckily, I was just having another, crazy nightmare. So luckily, at that point, she didn't accidentally give anything up, and the groups are safe. Humanity is safe. So now I'll start to go into the end of the video. And I'll ask a question for everyone watching. Let's see, what's a good question? How about the people that were, harassing Rachel about, either joking or being jealous? What do you think of that part? I didn't discuss it, but, I'd love to hear what you think about, that, because while this exact situation hasn't happened in real life before, people can still get jealous of people who've gone through bad situations. Just like it does happen. I can't remember the exact name of the syndrome, so this might not be the correct way to say it. It may be, but something by proxy, when someone makes someone else sick, so they can get, praised or get other benefits. Now those things exist in the real world, so what do you think about? So, simplifying the question again, what do you think about the people who are harassing Rachel? And now let's start talking to the end, where if you're watching this live on Twitch, the links will be in the description at sometime after I finish the stream. And if you're watching this on the YouTube, links will be in the description right now. Okay, so first off, some of the links will be Amazon Associates links, and what that means is I get a little profit from them. So just throwing that out there. But so if you haven't really read Animorphs before, and this video interested you in any way, you're like, oh yeah, I just, never thought about Animorphs before, but this seems pretty cool, and you want your very own copy of Animorphs, The Reaction by K. Applegate, link in the description. Just fun times there. It's a good book, and there's only I think 2 books in the entire series I don't really like. But when we get to those books, I'll explain my opinions and feelings. Then, also, I have a Twitter, so if you want to, talk all things Animorphs, I will be more than happy to. I love talking about Animorphs 24/7. It's my favorite series, my longest running obsession. No, but just be aware, on Twitter, I'm not so oh, let's not talk spoilers. I'm let's talk spoilers. The last time there was a new entry to the series was, 2001. So it's yeah. I just have the rule of no big spoilers on Jash Reads because I hope to bring in some newcomers to the series. And also, if you have been my follower for a little bit, you know, got to see me change the style of how I do Jash reads, which, you know, it's definitely changed over the years. You know, and you want to help support me? Patreon is the way to go. Right now, I don't have any benefits really going on. I still have the tiers, but not the benefits for the most part. Just because my vertigo made it so I can't really, do as much, and so I can't really keep up with the benefits like I used to. And finally, I have an original book series I'm doing. It's a grimdark superhero reverse harem series, and currently five books of the series are released. And yeah, I took a little break from working on the 6th entry, and now I'm back, and I'm happy to. It's like when I was working on made the little tagline for the 5th book, and just came to me like epiphany, oh, that's going to be the name of the book. And yeah, I don't like to say the name of the book, books before I release them. One, I'm afraid some copyright stuff may be going on, which I don't want anyone to steal the title. Even though I know that's probably not really going to happen. And also, while sometimes the titles stay the same throughout, outlining, writing, editing, and preparing for publishing, sometimes they do change, because 9 out of 10 times I'm not good at titles. Every now and again I'm like, dang, maybe I can do titles. So, let's end this stream. So, thank you everyone who watched, and if you want to check out those links, that would be more than awesome. And just for people on Twitch, I have now Jash reads marked down the schedule. But the thing is, if I have to cancel, one of the shows, please keep tuned to Twitter, because that may just mean I can't, do this series on Wednesday, but instead have to do maybe a Thursday. So, keep tuned to Twitter. I do make some updates from time to time. And to everyone, again, thank you. I love you all. You give me attention and praise. And, until next week, read some Animorphs. Whether it's the reaction early in the series, later in the series. And, oh yeah, if you haven't already, pre-order the 4th comic adaptation of Animorphs. Yeah. Yay! Woo! The comics will finally introduce Axe. Woohoo! Stay safe, everyone. Bye.